Landr just dropped a brand new vocal plugin bundle that promises to take you from bedroom to pro in 4 simple steps. It covers all the essential controls in easy to use interfaces, perfect for you who want polished vocals fast without an audio degree. But does it actually work? Let's find out. This video is sponsored by Landr, but all the opinions and comments are purely my own. In the description below, you can get a copy of the Vocal Plugins Bundle with a generous discount if you use my link. Now, let's get into it. So we have a vocal track right here.
Vil ikke kjenne på melakoni. Vil ikke kjenne på melakoni. Vik langt, langt på over tid. Vik langt, langt på over tid.
Now, there are 4 plugins in the Vocal Plugins Bundle. The first plugin is a tuning plugin. Look at this. Okay, the first thing you need to do in this plugin is to find the correct key. If you're working in another key than is the key of the track, you're bound for a mess. I go to a website called TuneBat. I'll link it down in the description below. It's really simple. You just go here and at tunebat.com/analyzer, and then you drag in the tracks that you want to have analyzed. So here we have C sharp minor. Let's go here, C minor. Do we have C sharp? Yes, we have. Okay.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
Now we have a lot of amount, so let's turn the amount down so we don't have that much artifacts.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Og vi var langt, langt på over tid.
This is quite transparent if we have the tune speed about at the middle here at 12 o'clock and the amounts right here. And this is different from track to track.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
But these are the main dials to turn. And if you want that crazy auto-tune modern effect, listen to this.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
You hear instantly more auto-tune-ish, more pop, more T-Pain. And now let's jank up the tune speed and listen up.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
And when you have it on modern mode, this automatically becomes a format dial, so you can have some really crazy effects. And think about the possibilities here with layering, background vocals, some high-pitched on the right and low-pitched on the left.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Og vi var langt, langt på over tid.
It's almost robotic. It's really cool. And another nice feature here is that you have a reverb, so you can have some reverb going on, especially nice for tracking, so you can track vocals with some reverb, and then you can turn it off later because you want the reverb on a send typically.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
And what's sweet about this is that there's no reverb controls. It's just a reverb dial. It's just the amount or format dial. And there's also a vibrato, but I don't tend to use that much. But you don't have all the other options. You can of course click and take away custom keys. But for 99% of auto-tuning, you only use these controls anyway. So this is really practical, I think. Really practical indeed. And what I miss here is initially I had to find the key. Why couldn't this plugin automatically detect the key of the input signal? That would be really neat. And I think the technology is there. So maybe in a future update, they will add that. I don't know. I hope so.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
So that was Landr VoxTune, the first of 4 plugins in the Vocal Plugin Bundle. Now let's go over to the next plugin in the bundle, and that's the Landr Vox Chain. And this is a combination of EQ, compression, and saturation or harmonic distortion. So all the things you typically need to make a vocal sound good, from raw to processed, from amateur to pro. Look here. So we have a low cut, which takes away some of the rumble at the bottom. That's stuff that you don't need anyways. But don't go too hard on this because your vocal might sound a bit thin if you go too hard on this. And then you have the air, which is a high shelf, and the body, which is the lower mids, where all the fatness lies. And then you have some compression. It's a one knob compressor, and same with saturation. It's a one knob saturator. So the more you dial in, the more saturated the signal becomes. And there's a mix wet dry knob here, like blend, and then you have the oversampling function. What I want to do first is just to run a test signal through this. This is a clean sine wave at 1K. Sounds like this. Now I'll activate the plugin. Let's blend in the wet dry. Look at all these harmonics right here. So these are harmonics all the way up the frequency spectrum, and then I'll turn it down. You see, nothing is engaged except just the plugin. It's dirty as it is. Nice. A lot of sweet harmonics. Then I have some air, and the same with the body, I guess. My assumption is that the air and body is not only EQ curves, but there are also some dynamic processing going on. When you turn it up, it doesn't sound harsh in the high-end frequencies, and it doesn't get muddy when you use the body. And I'll show you soon. Now, how about the saturation? Let's go wild. Wow, look at this. Now let's look at the vocals. Make sure to turn off the reverb again, because I don't want to compress with the reverb on. Okay, it's a bit thin sounding. Let's dial it back again. I like it here because here it's more defined. I've taken away some of the low end. Now let's boost up the body. And the air band. Now you hear that shimmering top end sizzle that we all love. It's instantly there without doing 10 processes and really engineering it. It's here from the get-go. And then of course you can tweak this by air, but there are also a lot of presets here. Now let's add some compression, make it a bit more consistent in the dynamics. No worrying about ratio, attack, release, knee, and etc. Only compression. It's simple. Just one dial, and then you can compress. You just control the amount, and the plugin takes care of the rest. Now let's look at the saturation. Just some slight harmonics is nice right here, but you can use this for effect as well if you want that distorted tone. Now you have some presets here. Let's see, modern pop female vocal. Let's see how this does. More body on this one. And it depends on the instrumental that you're using with the acapella. If it doesn't have that much body in and of itself, you could have more body in the vocals. But if the instrumental has more body and density, you could turn down the body on the vocals. Cool. And sometimes, you know, you can use these presets as starting points, and then you can tweak from there. Whatever floats the boat. Using presets is great, especially if you're a beginner, and then you slowly and steadily learn what the presets does, and you become a master before you know it. And you can go overboard, for example, with the compression, and then you can dial back the blend knob.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
And there's also a bypass knob right here in the plugin. That's really practical for switching on and off the plugin without the plugin latency kicking in and causing clicks and pops. Next plugin. Say that you have went a bit overboard with the air. Let's go a bit overboard with the air. Now listen to the S's.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
The Landr Vox DS. That's the next plugin. And this is typically nice to have when clamping down on whatever artifacts you created in the last plugin in the Vox chain. Listen to this.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
Let's see if we can treat this a bit overboard. This a bit exaggerated S. Let's see if we can treat it a bit.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
Jank up the speed a bit. Take down the threshold, the ratio.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
Okay, that was a bit too much, but not that much either. Because now I went to the extreme settings, and even then, it didn't make it that ugly. Other de-essers tend to turn it into something completely different. Okay, let's jank up the range a bit. The amount is right there. And the monitor is like a delta button where you can hear what's going on, what you have taken away actually.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
Now, with and without. Without first.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
The thing that I noticed with this plugin is that it's really difficult to go overboard with it. You can use some extreme settings, and even then it has a sort of a safety net under the hood. That's really interesting. You can go to the extreme settings and it will still save the vocals somehow. The S's are under control. Now comes the final plugin, and this plugin is not to be set up on an insert, but if you want to do that, go ahead, be my guest. But I like to have it on a send. Like this. So I'll set up a send and I'll replace a Valhalla vintage verb with the Landr Vox verb. Here we go. We have the Landr Vox verb. Here are some typical reverb settings: high frequency control, low frequency control, decay or time, pre-delay, how long it takes for the reverb to start, and the width controls. The vocal is dead center, and then you put the reverb on the sides. It's really a nice trick. And then you have a blend knob. Now let's listen up.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
Okay, already there, I haven't touched anything, and it sounds great.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
Really clean, nice. Let's play with the width.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
Cool. And no width.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
Right. Now let's try the pre-delay. And this is for separating the vocal from the reverb a bit. Delays typically do this, so the reverb starts a bit later. And of course, now I have an exaggerated volume on the reverb. This is just to hear what I'm doing.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
Let's play around with the time a bit.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Det var
Nice, I like that. And then there's the body on the ear.
Det var ikke sånn det. Det var ikke sånn. Det var ikke sånn. Det var ikke sånn.
And depending on the instrumental, how much you want to tuck the reverb, the less air and body you insert. One function that I think is lacking here is a high pass and a low pass filter. It would be sweet to just take away some frequencies altogether. I like to do that, especially for vocals when I want a cleaner mix. I like to have the reverb from maybe 400 or 500 hertz up until 2,000-3,000 hertz. So that's the only thing that I think is lacking here.
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
and maybe some character as well. But when you want to keep things simple, you have to make some choices. And I think they have made some decent choices right here by not making it too complex, being overwhelmed by reverb plugin, and then you stop mixing vocals for yourself. And I want you to mix vocals. That's like the whole reason for this channel. I want you to mix your own vocals. What I do when I mix reverbs is I start in the extreme like this, and then I find the settings, and then I turn it back down until I can't hear it almost, and then I turn it a bit back up again. So
Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli. Det var ikke sånn det skulle bli.
right, so these are the 4 plugins in the brand new vocal plugin bundle from Landr: the Vox Tune, the Vox Chain, the Vox DS, and the Vox Verb. Link is in the description below for a generously discounted link. Go check it out. And if you want more videos about vocal mixing, check out this playlist right here and also this video right there. Hope I see you there. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.